Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann.
This is Steiny.
How you fellas doing?
Have I told you about the Juice's teeth?
No, I didn't realize there was a topic of conversation here.
Yeah. So the Juice being my 12-and-a-half-year-old daughter and my oldest. So she had some cavities when I took her to the dentist a while ago.
Okay.
And I made an appointment for her to get the fillings. And then
The Beast
was going to drive her. And then canceled the appointment and never took her. And this was in the midst of our custody battle. So anytime I tried to reschedule and get her to take them, she would say, "You want full custody, you can do it." And it's like, dude, I have a job during the day. I have limited paid time off. I can't just be like, oh, I'm going to take a day off so my kid can get a filling. Like, they'll let you take time off to take care of your parental responsibilities, sure. But I don't want to be that guy that's taking all this fucking time off and using my kids as excuses more than I already have to when they get me sick or are homesick.
Right?
And the teeth got worse.
Of course they did.
Yeah. And then it was a matter of, are we going to pull them or are we going to do root canals and crowns?
Uh-oh!
Yeah. One is a back molar, a 13-year molar.
And that's a permanent one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
she'll have that crown for the rest of her life, well, at least until it starts failing. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other one is on the opposite side of her jaw, and it's a 10-year molar, so that's the second tooth from the back.
Oh, wow.
So we went round and round with this, and it was a process where I was trying to fucking schedule the goddamn appointment to finally get the one back tooth removed.
Okay.
And I was told that it would be done off-site from her regular dentist at a oral surgery
surgeon.
place.
Yep.
And then they're like, okay, we'll call the number and schedule the appointment. And I tried and tried and tried, and nobody picked the fucking phone up there. And it was infuriating.
Was it off of University Avenue?
No, it was in Plymouth, over by the Cub Foods in the movie theater.
Okay, I don't know that one.
Worse off is you can only leave a message with them if it's during business hours. Yeah.
Because they don't want to deal with extra messages in the morning when they come into work, huh?
Right.
Okay.
So the first time I tried to leave a message after hours was because I was told they would take her unscheduled, technically, on an emergency basis, and they'd fit her in between appointments. Because the guy there that does this, Dr. Rahimi, is such a fucking stud at yanking teeth out of people's faces that he can have his nurses or dental assistants or whatever apply the fucking Novocaine and shit and get them going. And then have whoever, if they have a nurse anesthetist, monitor some of the drugs that put them under. Mm-hmm. And then he comes to the room, he's like, all right, yoink. Okay, next room, yoink.
Oh, yeah.
He just bounces back and forth like a ping pong ball into different rooms in this building. It's fucking incredible. But anyways, I go to return a message saying, yes, I would like an appointment. Here's the problem. You can't leave a message after hours, but there is an on-call number, to which I called. And they go, oh, no, you got to call the office and leave a message. I'm like, but I can't do that right now. They said they have an appointment tomorrow at this time. I can make it work. I can get half a day off of work to take care of this shit, okay? And I'm trying to say, yes, I want the fucking appointment. They're like, well, you'll have to call them in the morning. So I was already on edge.
Mm-hmm.
The next morning, they open at 7. I started calling at 6:55.
Sure.
I called all the way until 7:18 when I had to hop in the fucking shower.
And no answer.
Nobody picked up. Nobody switched the fucking phone to daytime mode. It would always go to that same message. You're unable to leave a message because it's after business hours, but if you'd like to get a hold of someone in an emergent situation, you can call our after hours on call. And I'm like, you motherfuckers! So then I go to work. I'm like, I guess I'm coming in. It was 50-50. I was going to get the appointment. And I go till my lunch break at 11:30, which I see I have a fucking voicemail.
From the clinic.
From the clinic asking me if I wanted the appointment.
When was the message?
At like 9:45.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So now we've already missed the appointment, and I called them back, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, well, what was the problem? I'm like, you called me yesterday and left a message. You said you had the appointment. You close at 4. I get done at 4:30. I can't leave a message after hours. I call the on-call who says I have to. I try to call you this morning repeatedly for the span of about 24 fucking minutes, and nobody picks up the damn phone. So we could have gotten this done today, but we didn't because of a logistical snafu on your end, because I don't control your switchboard.
Right. The ability to leave messages on their system.
And my kid's tooth is bothering the shit out of her nonstop. So, great, thanks. When I finally get her in to get the tooth pulled, it is 3.5 weeks later.
Wow.
Yeah.
So nothing else came up or no other accommodations, or you had to actually schedule an appointment? What?
I had to do the whole schedule an appointment in between appointments. And the fucky thing about that is they're like, okay, so we're going to say it's at 7:50 a.m., but it's actually, we don't know what time he's going to get to her. You're just going to have to come here, and then he'll see her, and then when he thinks he's got a window, he'll scoot her in between appointments,
Right.
and then they'll anesthetize her, and then we'll take care of it, and yeah. Huge pain in the ass, because I had the ability to take the day off of work on a day when it wouldn't affect the team too much, because here's what I got to be mindful of. It's vacation season. On average, every day from the end of May until the end of August, there are 2 people off.
Okay.
And if I take a day off and it hits harder, like say Wednesday when we have a heavier load, well, that could cause everybody to be there an extra fucking hour. And you don't want to be that guy.
Right.
Because people are going to be like, oh, the fucking asshole took the day off and left us stranded. Oh, did you have his kid have his tooth pulled? Because then they're inevitably going to be like, well, why doesn't the mom do it? Oh, because you may have forgotten she's an unreliable, unrelenting cunt most of the time. So it wasn't like I could do this.
You know, I just wanted to go back to that. I'm glad that you circle back, because my first thought when you brought that up is a similar situation with my own son's mom.
My son.
What I always found so frustrating is the fact that they're willing to play these games or battle it out at the expense of their own child's well-being. Your daughter's teeth got way worse in this time, all because of a power trip, because she felt you should have been the one to do it because you were asking for full custody, right? Instead of the child's best interest, her own daughter's best interest, she used it as a power play with you.
And she's not doing a fucking thing during the day most weekdays. So this situation was like from fucking February until she just got it pulled in June.
That's terrible.
And
That's
it had been a fucking year since the original filling appointment that she canceled.
Right. And the fillings would have prevented probably the teeth from being pulled at least this early.
Definitely, yes.
You know, not eventually they probably would have to been pulled because they continue to wear away and rot and all this stuff. But she could have gotten so much more life out of them, right? And now they're gone.
Well, we'll get there. The point that you just made is very salient. Instead of thinking about our daughter and getting it done and being a parent, she was a butthurt teenager in an adult's body that could only think of me versus her and couldn't get past her own hate of me to take care of our kid. And it's just fucking sad and pathetic how many moms out there are like this these days. I don't know what the fuck is going on, other than I want to pin it on the fact that there's so many single mothers now compared to when we were kids. Even if your parents were divorced, there was a strong chance that one or both of them were either dating somebody or remarried back then.
Yep.
So 2-parent households, you work as a team.
The beast
And I can't work as a team because I acquiesce to so much shit and she fucking doesn't.
Yeah. There's basically just one parent in this situation. One that steps up and does what has to be done, and the other that fights and argues and digs their heels in because they can't get their way.
It should be that we're one team and one of us is offense and one of us is defense, but instead she turns it into like, oh, it's a basketball game and I'm the Bulls and she's the Pistons and it's, 1987.
Interesting reference. You went with her being Lambeer.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. I think Rodman was on those early teams too.
The Pistons, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, it comes to a day where I'm just like, fuck it, I'm making the appointment, I'm taking the day off of work. My boss is like, okay, I get it. Now, I had my 6-year-old with, her younger sister.
Yep.
Bug is with. She spent the night, and she was going to go with us. I couldn't let the juice eat because she's going to be anesthetized, so she had to stop eating
they
8
don't want you to
hours
throw
earlier.
up. Yep.
And we get to the appointment, and we're sitting there, and they take her back, and she does her usual bubbly fucking talk too much Rain Man-y thing. And then they come have her sit in the fucking lobby again. That was just for the consultation and the x-ray. Now we wait till it's game time to fucking stick a needle in her and dope her up, and then fucking, take care of business.
Oh, later on that day yet?
Oh, it only took about 20 minutes to get to her turn.
Oh, nice.
But originally they said it could be, 45 minutes to 2 hours. They're basically giving me a window like the cable company. I'm like, motherfucker.
Right, yeah.
I don't want to sit in a lobby with a 6-year-old. She's going to get bored of coloring at some point.
Yeah, you got finite time.
Yeah. And they take her back, and they do her thing. In the meantime, I'm sitting in the lobby with the little one. She can't fucking sit still. She wants to color, she has to go to the bathroom. She wants to color, she needs to get a drink. She wants to color, she wants to go outside with me while I go get my glasses. When they're done, they invite us back. Now, I don't have a phone that records video. But goddamn if I wish I didn't at that time.
Right? It's one of those classic moments where she is just looped up, huh?
Yeah, she's full on fucking David after Dennis going out of her goddamn mind.
Is this real life?
And I walk in the room, I'm like, how's it going? And she's like, I want to hug my girlfriend. She is sobbing. And I look at the nurse lady, I'm like, I did not know she had a girlfriend.
Say what?
Truth comes out.
This is my girlfriend. Like, I know she's a lesbian. It's not like a well-kept secret. We're open about that one.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that she might have an actual girlfriend.
Right? Had actually delved into the relationship world, huh?
Now they're like, okay, well, she can go now. I'm like, well, hang on. How are we doing this? Because she's got noodle legs. So I had to pick her up, put her up against my chest, straight jacket hug her, and fucking like sumo walk to the car.
Are you serious?
Yes, that's how I got her into the car.
That doesn't seem viable. They don't have a wheelchair to put them in to then get them out to a vehicle? That's highly unorthodox to do it that way.
Yeah.
Because of liability. What if you have a parent that isn't as in good a shape or drops their kid?
Yeah, like right on their fucking face.
Yeah, that's a huge liability.
Well, now we've got one less tooth and a concussion.
Well, hey, we got more work coming our way.
Yeah, at that point it's like, give me the crazy glue. We're just gonna skip the stitches this time. Fuck. I get her in the car, and I'm like, okay, well, we're right by Cub Foods. We'll go get Victory Donuts because you were a big kid about this. And I pull in the parking lot. I'm like, okay, here's the deal. I'm gonna run in for a minute. I'll be right back. The 6-year-old wants to come in. I'm like, no. I can't leave her alone in the car. I also can't leave you alone in the car. So she's going to watch you even though you're watching her.
Right.
Kind of a symbiotic fucking yin and yang situation.
Balance of power.
Definitely. I go in, and as I'm trying to get donuts, the beast fucking calls me. And I'm explaining the situation to her. She's like, oh, okay, well, where is she now? I'm like, out in the car. She's like, you left her out in the car? I'm like, well, she's with Bug. They're watching each other. I'm in here for a minute, so I got to go. Bye. I get back out to the car. We go home. And I get a couple blocks down the road, and I'm like, this doesn't seem like the right way. And I know a great deal of Plymouth because other Neil lived over that way growing up.
Sure.
Right? So at some point, I'm sitting there, and I keep having to give Taco Bell napkins to the juice so that she can wipe the blood from her lips. And here's the best part. I'm like, boy, you are either going to need to, like, swallow some of that spit or I'm going to run out of Taco Bell napkins. I don't know. She's like, I'm sorry. And then I'm like, but seriously, you're losing a lot of blood, it seems, so you better just maybe tilt your head up. And she's like, I don't want to die. It goes immediately to fucking DEFCON 4.
Oh, sure.
We're already, thinking, uh-oh, but now she thinks she's going to die. And she's just dripping saliva onto these napkins.
Oh, yeah.
Because she can't stop because her mouth is numb. And she's also doped out of her fucking mind.
Yep.
So I started to kind of fuck with her.
And
the one in the back seat is also enjoying me fucking with her. Because I'm like, here's the deal. Just take a deep breath and just try to relax. Okay, we'll be home in like 25 minutes. It's no big deal. But if you don't stop crying, you're going to get dehydrated. She's like, no, I'll die. Am I going to die? I'm like, stop talking. You're dripping bloody saliva on your fucking pants. And then we're going again, and we're going again. We're miles down the road, right? Mm-hmm. Once I found my way and got back on track. Here's where I decided to go for broke on fucking with her. She said something about rights. I'm like, well, the way this country's going, you're not going to have any of those rights pretty soon because you already, in some states, can't decide to have an abortion or not. She's like, I hate Donald Trump. I wish someone would shoot him in the head.
Oh, that went dark.
Yeah. I'm like, but hey, look at it this way. There's a 50% chance probably that this isn't real and we're living in a simulation. What? Like the Matrix. We are inside of a chamber, inside of a warehouse of humanity, and there are hoses hooked up to you, and nobody knows what the fuck you're doing. They're just monitoring your thought processes to make sure you're still alive. So what you perceive as real could be totally fake. The sky, fake. This traffic, fake. God, totally fake. All of it fake in the Matrix. That made her weep uncontrollably.
Yeah, you just gave her a mind F.
But it was a good one. It was the perfect opportunity to really pose this. I mean, maybe you don't get deep with a 12-year-old who's doped out of her mind.
Yeah.
But I was like, fuck it. Is it good? I could sit here and tease her about stupid shit. Or I could really go for broke.
So here's my first question. Maybe I'm jumping the gun on this story here. How much of that does she remember?
None of it.
See,
none of it.
There you go.
And because I glazed over this very important contextual piece of information, they only took out the 13-year molar.
Oh.
And here's the rationale. If we would have taken out the 10-year molar, it might have caused the other side of her jaw to move too much and it might have fucked up her teeth. So now we're going to have to get a root canal on that one and a crown.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's not cheap.
No.
No.
She's getting the cheapest, ugliest fucking crown they possibly... I said, you're probably getting a silver cap on that bitch.
Yeah, they can make them more lifelike colors than others, yeah.
Silver and gold are cheap.
Yeah.
But that's the $800 question because me and the Beast couldn't get it done, couldn't work together. But it just taught me a very important lesson that I'm going to have to just say fuck it and go for broke because I have a very understanding supervisor. Because I feel terrible. I do. Well, we're waiting to get the other one handled, which it's been a month since she had the tooth pulled, if not 5 or 6 weeks. I forget.
Uh-huh.
She's had bouts of pain. And every fucking time she has a toothache, I tell her to rinse it out, right?
Yep.
It rarely hurts here. It's almost exclusively when she's over at Casa de Beast. I don't know why or what she's feeding her over there. It's so shitty. But then I get a phone call that I'm a piece of shit parent. And this is the end of the episode, and it's like the fucking gusto here. Is that dirty bitch will tell me that I'm medically neglecting our daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not just the tooth. She's like, and just like her doctor said that she needs medication for depression. And how's it coming with that Gardasil shot, the fucking HPV vaccine?
Yep.
And you're not doing any of this, and you're medically neglecting our daughter. And I have half a mind to call CPS and tell them what you're up to. Since you were so high and mighty when got CPS on me, I'm like, okay, well, for starters, bitch face. And then she hung up on me.
Oh.
And then we always play this cat and mouse game. She's like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm like, oh, you don't want to be reasoned with and find out you're fucking wrong and overstepping your bounds?
But she's playing guerrilla tactics, too. She wants to say a bunch of crap, throw a bunch of grenades, and then run back and not have to deal with any of the consequences, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't want to hear the response.
So I got her about 2 days later. I'm like, you're going to listen to me and you're going to listen goddamn good. Do you understand? She's like, excuse me? I'm like, shut up and don't interrupt. I'm not medically neglecting our daughter. You know full goddamn well that I have a schedule I have to adhere to, and it's fucking vacation season. I told you that months ago and asked you for help. But because I wanted full custody, now you're going to punish our daughter to get back at me. Real fucking mature. And as for your medical neglect, you can suck both of my nuts at the same fucking salty time because I don't want her on depression meds because they may or may not work and they may or may not have side effects that make things worse. It was a recommendation. There's no fucking law that says I have to do exactly what the doctor wants. I'm the parent, and I'm the custodial parent with the decision-making power. So sit and spin, bitch. And as for your HPV shot, they didn't even have that shit like 15 fucking years ago. Yes, I think she should get it. But, again, recommendation, not medically required. I'm not neglecting a goddamn thing. I'm trying to do my best. And if you want to have CPS crawl up my ass, then I'm going to fucking throw you to the wolves again. They've got your name on file. They're very much familiar with all your bullshit shenanigans and all the mental gymnastics you do to make yourself think that you're right when you're not. Fucking game on, bitch. And then if I get hauled in front of a judge, all I have to do is be like, Your Honor, it's the same song and dance. Something needs to get done. She says it's my responsibility only because I'm the custodial parent and I wanted full custody, and she just washes her hands of it. Meanwhile, our daughter suffers because she can't get along with me and do what she needs to fucking do.
Hadouken! Hadouken! Tatanaxenbergen! Shoryuken! You win!
Absolutely.
I mean, we're goddamn ridiculous. Medical neglect.
Right. The pot calling the kettle black. That whole thing, right?
At this point, it's like, hey, careful you don't dislocate your shoulder on that reach. So yeah, she's down a tooth and she's going to get another one fixed. And maybe this isn't the most interesting of episode concepts, but it's something that happened to me and it dealt with me and the beast and one of my kids. And I got to point out why I am the good parent and she's the shitty one.
But it is interesting because that battle does happen back and forth quite often, where
Yes.
the child's well-being is sacrificed because of the power plays.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Interact with the show on Twitter at What Do We Call It? That is at What Do We Call It? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/What Do We Call It podcast show. For the What Do We Call It podcast, I'm Jmann.
This is Steiny.
And that's the end.